Okay, this is Brandon, right? And you're gonna get Spider-Man. So you're gonna close your eyes. That is your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You looked at me like I was wrong. You scared me. It's like, man, that's kind of creepy. Okay, so we're gonna start over Brandon's eyes, and Spider-Man has a little bit of a teardrop shape, so we do a lot like our kitty cat eyes, where we just cover over the eye and we angle the it's like a triangle up to the corner point of his forehead on either side. So we're going to use white star blends on a lollipop sponge, and we're going to cover the eye, and then we're going to carry it up like this and then bring it down so we have like a teardrop, almost that shape of a petal on top of the eyes. So that's the first step. And then we're going to use red star blends on a lollipop sponge, and we're going to fill in this triangle shape in the middle of the forehead. So it's okay that it's not perfectly bold if it's a little bit blotchy, because by the time you put the webs in there, it's going to be fine. Okay, so we've covered and around the white that we put over his eyes. We take it down to right beside his eye, and then we are going to use a stencil. It doesn't have to be any specific stencil, but I tend to use something that just has some dot texture for the edges, just so it's not just ending with nothing on the edge of the face. So just have some texture at the edge. So we use my dot stencil. This is BAM stencil number 1206. And now that I have the base laid down, the webbing is done with black, and so I'm using, this is Wolf Black. I use Wolf for most of my line work if I can find it. Sometimes it's not available and I'll go with Diamond Effects, but this is Wolf. And again, my paint is an inky consistency, but not runny. Okay, lean forward just a little bit for me, Brandon, and close your eyes real softly. I start at the corner of the eye, and I'm going to go up towards this point. I start thin, and then I lay the brush down and lift up as I pull back, and then I'm going to meet this line and carry it down to the corner of the eye. If it gets in the hair, that's okay. And then I'm going to give one web between this point and this point, which is the edge, and then I'm going to give one more, and that's going to finish off the edge of this mask. And I'm going to start at this line and give a swoop, and this line and give a swoop, and so that gives you the webbing around that side of the face. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Turn your face for me this way. I'm going to start at the corner of the eye. I'm going to start off really thin, lay my brush down, and flick it up. If it kind of breaks up a little bit, sometimes it does that because this is Star Blends, and Star Blends is dry. So you just have to kind of go over it a couple of times. Come up here to the edge of the white, swoop down to the edge of the eye. Okay, and again, we're going to find the halfway point between this black line and the bottom of your design, and give a line there and a line here. I kind of curve this down and I let it come to a point, just to kind of give it a, this is the end of the design, and give yourself the swoops in between those. Depending on how much space you have between your eye, your lines over your eye will determine whether or not you want to have 3 lines in the center, or if you only have 2 lines. If you have a child that doesn't have a whole lot of forehead, you're going to have just 2 lines here. But Brandon has a nice wide forehead, so I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to go down. I'm twisting my brush as I'm pulling so that I can get to a nice fine point at the end. And then in between this line and this line, I'm going to do another one. And just for aesthetic purposes, I'm kind of curving that line to meet my focal point, which is the center in between the eyes. Another line right here, I'm pulling and twisting, so I have a nice thin line that it comes to. And then I'm going to give it 2 swoops in between each web. They don't have to be absolutely perfect, but you want it to look like a spider web. All right, buddy, you want to see?
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, Mom.
Okay, thank you so much. You can jump down for me.